Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. I guess it's never too late. The WBC is finally making a move to resolve the absolute mess that is heavyweight champ Deontay Wilder's next fight, which could be against either Berman Stavern or Luis Ortiz. Possibly other, who knows. It must be noted, it's a mess the sanctioning body well and truly created. Only itself to blame. Let's do a quick recap of how we got here. So in 2015, Deontay Wilder easily defeated Stavern to claim the WBC title. Since then, Stavern has had one unconvincing fight against Derek Rossi in which he was dropped to the canvas. Shockingly, on the strength of that one fight in 2 years, the WBC, after Wilder's February defense against Gerald Washington, it installed Stavern as Wilder's mandatory. At the time, most of us were like, what is going on here? This is ludicrous. It wasn't a fight that most fans wanted to see. We'd been there, done that, got the postcard. I mean, Wilder won so comprehensively the first time round. So anyway, Stavern is now the mandatory challenger and has been for the past 6 months. For most of that time, we haven't really heard a lot from the Wilder camp, save to say that they'd rather seek a unification bout or another option. And, fair enough too. Stavern has been very vocal, very vocal. He doesn't want to step aside. He doesn't want to fight at a later date and get paid twice, which you've got to wonder about that. So then a couple of weeks ago, details started to emerge that Wilder's team was trying to negotiate a Luis Ortiz fight. That's something a majority of fans applauded given Ortiz's reputation. At the same time, we were also hearing that the TV networks weren't interested in a retread fight between Wilder and Stavern. Neither are most fans, to be honest, and, we're all on the same page there. You have to wonder, though, that those details must have been leaking out from the Wilder camp or, someone pretty close to it because, really, I mean, that's trying to set that Luis Ortiz fight up, right? So, Stavern, not budging. I mean, he has even taken it a step further now. He's hired a new management team, and they're prepared to go to court and litigate if needed. It really is a cluster. So I'm going to choose my next words very carefully, as if I were to express my true rage over the situation, I'd probably get banned from YouTube. Needless to say, though, the WBC deserves the biggest of uppercuts. Actually, more than that, more than a few. It deserves a lot of other uppercuts for setting this whole situation in motion. So today I literally laughed and with a huge sense of irony when I read that WBC President Mauricio Suleiman been quoted as saying the WBC is talking with the members of all teams and hope that we can reach a friendly agreement that does not affect anyone. I mean, come on. I mean, in my view, that is simply not possible. Someone will be left without a chair at the table, and they're going to be pissed off. I have to say, I do have some sympathy for Stavern. I do. He feels he's earned a shot at a rematch with Wilder, and come hell or high water, no one's going to take that away and get in the way. He wants that belt back, and he feels he has unfinished business. You can understand that. He wants his fight, and that's all there is really to it. I mean, it's certainly highly debatable whether he should be the mandatory at all. And that goes back to that question. Why the hell did the WBC install him as the mandatory in the first place? I get that Don King is Stavern's promoter, is tight with the WBC, but come on. The WBC took a massive credibility hit over this one. Now it's having to get involved to sort it out. The irony is just overwhelming. And consider this. Poor Luis Ortiz, the man who cannot buy a title shot for love nor money. He is, just hanging in limbo again. I'm sure most of us feel that Ortiz is, generally within the division, the next cab off the rank for someone who deserves a title shot. This whole situation has just been teased again, and it's just out of reach. And Deontay Wilder, let's not forget, he's also a victim in this. The WBC has ordered he fight a guy no one wants to see him fight. Wilder, as we know, He already has an image problem because most of the guys he has fought have either been bums or average at best. When Stiverne is the best name on your record, you are not a proven champ. Wilder is acutely aware of this. He knows that he needs a big name on his record to legitimize himself in the eyes of many fans, myself included. Sure, we know he's got the power, but doubts will linger among many of us until he defeats someone that fans rate. Stiverne is not that name. Consider this. Stiverne has also been reported, and it's been widely reported, that he's missed a doping test in the clean boxing program. That's the one that the WBC runs. And if you're ranked, you have to be part of it and you have to take part in the tests. And he's missed a test. And my understanding that is that constitutes a failed test. So why is the WBC not moving on this? Probably a couple of reasons, not least of which probably because legal action would no doubt follow. But maybe also because this sanctioning body, as it's proven, is a law unto itself, and it makes all sorts of crazy decisions and rulings to suit itself. Installing Stiverne as the mandatory is case in point. It'd be hard to dump him now after they created this ludicrous situation in the first place. Another interesting nugget that popped out that I did cover in a recent video, Deontay Wilder, by his own admission, he's also been using this extra time to heal. I mean, we didn't even know what these injuries were. So he said he had some injuries and he's been getting right in recent months. So what are these injuries? We have no idea. They haven't explained it. And that's probably another reason why his team haven't been in a rush to resolve this whole palaver. So what is the way through this? That's really the million-dollar question. If Stiverne is not going to step aside, and he's been pretty adamant, well then shit. Let's just get it over with, and somehow let's get the fight made and over with. Surely if the price is right, and by that I mean low enough, you can see a TV network picking it up. And that is especially if they can package some really good fights on the undercard. Someone will pick it up. And Wilder might just have to swallow his knob and take a decent pay cut to get this fight done. But just like this whole ridiculous situation with Klitschko holding up the division with the will he, won't he rematch with Joshua, this situation is just as bad and getting worse. They are now holding up the WBC belt. It is being held hostage. And the irony is the WBC is to blame. That's it from me. Hit like and subscribe. Drop a comment. Drop some outrage at the WBC. Like to hear it. Okay, I'm out.